Is the DR10L Pro worth the upgrade from the original Tascam DR10L released in 2016? I've been using the DR10L Pro for a year now, and it essentially does a lot of the same things the original Tascam does, but it's a bit more expensive, and with the original Tascam being so cheap when it's on sale, I think it's a great option for all the features you get with it. Having used the original Tascam since 2016, I can honestly say it's rarely let me down. Okay, so 32-bit float with the DR10L Pro. It's essentially like having a raw photo or video footage shot in log. You can do more with it if something essentially goes wrong. Say your audio is too quiet, you can raise it louder, or if your audio is too loud, you can lower it without losing sound quality. This is a great feature to have in definitely the future, but not entirely necessary when it comes to these recorders. So ultimately, both the original Tascam DR10L and the 10L Pro version possess the feature of an auto leveler, so you won't be running into the issue of peaked audio in case you get certain people talking too loud or they talk too quiet. I just find 32-bit float is nice to have, but not the main reason I'd buy the Pro version over the original Tascam. So with that said, I'll let you decide if you need more sound security features like 32-bit float, but I honestly think that the original Tascam works very well. One of the bigger features with the DR10L and the DR10L Pro is that they have something called, well, on the 10L it's called track increment, where it would save your audio clip every 15 minutes. With the new Pro version, your audio file will actually save every 20 seconds to the same file. If somebody ever dropped their recorder for whatever reason, you would only lose 20 seconds of audio, opposed to the whole thing just getting corrupted. As of right now, I'm going to say that the Bluetooth adapter that you purchase separately from the Pro version is not reliable. The reason being is that the range is not very good, and I find once you close your phone and go back into the app, nothing is connected, or you can't get it to show your thing actually your Tascam recording. So the idea is there, but the app integration is confusing. It doesn't work most of the time I try to use it. Outside of Tascam, I find this adapter doesn't work with my Zoom F3 either. So it's a nice thought, but I have yet to use it because I find it flat out doesn't work when I need it to. This is probably one of the more disappointing features of the Pro version, to be honest. Having this work in a more seamless way would have been a game changer, but as of right now, I find it's not where it needs to be for me to recommend it. So if you're big on being able to monitor your audio from your camera, then I would consider getting the DJI mic too instead, but this is just something to be cautious of.
So yeah guys, I finally got it to work after a little bit of troubleshooting. Don't even know what I did. Like, even I recorded myself on video just to see, and it kept saying that I have to approve the Bluetooth in the Bluetooth app on my phone. Tascam Connect app does not come up on my Bluetooth. I didn't see it come up at all. Went deep into my Bluetooth settings, it didn't come up, and then I just went back to the app, and then for whatever reason it connected. So this is what I mean when I say it's weird, and I can't explain why it doesn't work. And I've had this issue at weddings, and I just give up on the app because it just, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't find that to make it reliable for that reason. And I'm not seeing other people say anything differently. Could be user error, but this is pretty much where I'm at with this app. It's here and there.
So let's talk about the new battery system, because this is actually a really good thing. The old Tascam has a battery door that flips out, and the 10L Pro has one where it kind of slides down. Once we're under the hood, I think the significantly better part is the fact that the Pro version allows you to install 2 batteries instead of 1. Even with the original Tascam, I found that unit was pushing it for me on a wedding day in terms of battery life. They're great for small shoots, but if you have a Catholic ceremony or Indian ceremony that can range from 1 to 3 hours in length, I'm just not crazy about not being able to monitor my audio for that long. Outside of the ceremony, if you have to use them for other parts of the day, you can run into a situation where you need to change batteries. But what if that's between the ceremony and you can't change it? They say the original should last 8 hours, and maybe it's my batteries, but I don't usually get 8 hours out of them. I'm just gonna be honest. Next thing I want to talk about is memory cards and storage. A small thing, but an amazing addition, is the maximum memory card size that you can insert into the Pro version of the Tascam. So the original Tascam only gave you the ability to insert a 32 gigabyte card, which is good. But if you're like me and don't want to wipe your SD cards like halfway through the year, then having more space is ideal. With the Pro version, you can have up to a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, which is amazing. Personally, I think 128 gigabytes is more than enough for audio and should last you the year without having to wipe the card. If you don't want to take the SD card out and you want to plug your Tascam into the computer, you can take the footage off that way. The only issue with this feature is that it's USB 2.0, which essentially means it will take forever to transfer. Pretend it's like 2005 and you'll be okay. I don't even know how long ago USB 2.0 was, but we're at like what, like 4 now, 3.0, 3.5, 3, I don't know. So I just wanted to actually bring this up a bit earlier in the video because it's absolutely driving me crazy. I know some people are going to have this issue and I want to give you a solution to it right away. The DR10L Pro, the new one, had this issue where I will have to input the date and time every single time I use them. I read on a Reddit page that it has to do with the internal battery, and to solve this, you charge the units via USB-C for hours. I'd say 5 hours is enough, but I just let them go overnight just to see what would happen. And today I actually turned them on and they seem to be working fine. It didn't prompt me to put in the date or whatever again. So I would say for now, I would try that out and see if it works for you. It seems like it's worked for me. And from the few Reddit groups that I've seen on this, it's worked for them as well. So try it out. Let me know in the comments if that worked for you, but love solving problems. Hopefully that works for you. So the microphone you get with both units is awesome, and of course comes with a 3.5mm inch screw-on Tascam is known for. So having that screw-on feature ensures that somebody won't pull the mic out if they move in a certain way. At a wedding, weird dips and movements can happen during, say, the first kiss, and it's easy for that mic to come loose. So having the screw-on fastener is a big deal. The Tascam setup with the lav microphones are omnidirectional. So the omnidirectional microphone comes in handy if you're at a ceremony and say the bride and groom are doing their vows and the officiant doesn't hand the microphone to them. The groom has a mic attached to him, but she doesn't have a mic attached to her. You can kind of use that audio from the groom. Just make sure you have the mic on the outside of his shirt and not like hidden inside his like jacket. So if you want to dial this in a bit more, you can add a voice isolation tool. DaVinci Resolve has a great one, and some EQ to kind of clean up that audio that was recorded that's a little bit further away.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
I missed you so much.
I missed you a lot.
Oh my
God. Hey, you look amazing. Yeah, you look beautiful. I love it. I love it. Are you getting the snow on you?
It's okay. Can you do up your button?
Yeah.
I call you my husband, and thank you for giving me the absolute wedding of my dreams. Our hard work and sacrifice is finally being paid off. I can't wait for our next chapter as husband and wife to begin.
If you're going to use a Tascam recorder for the bride, there are straps you can use. It feels a little intrusive at times asking her to put it on her leg. You could ask her if she's okay putting it in the front part of her dress, but honestly, I'd say get some DJI mics or the Lark M2 mics that can slip into her front area for less stress on her and you. It won't be amazing sound like the Tascam, but it's better than nothing. Now, what I just said there is kind of subjective in terms of opinion, because honestly, I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's worse to have it on her leg and have it go all the way up, or just have her take a little mic and pop it in. I'll let you decide on that one. So let's talk about pricing now. When it comes to price, there's about an $80 difference between the two mics. The original Tascam, even before the Pro was announced, will occasionally have a sale on it. I've seen them go for as low as $120 on B&H, making it a steal. If you ever lose the microphone, the price of a new one is pretty steep in comparison to just buying a new unit altogether, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Most people I know that own these don't seem to care about the original Tascam case. I always like to keep things clean and organized, and it's nice to hand that little bag to a second shooter without a cord dangling or it wrapped around the recorder. You can also throw a spare battery in that little bag to your second shooter. It's a small touch, but it paints a bigger picture for me. And honestly, I was just a little disappointed because it's like, I'm paying more for this new recorder. Why doesn't it have that little bag? I love that little bag. So Amazon does have cases for the Tascam recorders, but I don't personally use them. And some involve you taking the mic off, like screwing it off, and then having to screw it back on every time you want to use it, and I'm just not a fan of that. There are a few key differences with the original Tascam versus the Pro that I'd like to point out. The biggest one is the belt clip. The original Tascam have this belt clip that is really tough and hard to get onto people. Essentially, you have to slide it on rather than just pop it out and put it on. With the new Tascam, you can pop it out. It's a lot easier, a lot more easier. You can hand it to a client, they can do it themselves rather than you having to go and do it. So this is a great quality of life improvement with the Pro version. The old one has the buttons on the face and the new one has the buttons on the bottom. So I don't really use these buttons unless I'm like changing settings, and I'm usually doing that at home. So it doesn't really affect me much, but I just thought I'd point it out. I really think Tascam did this to kind of make the new Pro version a bit smaller. And honestly, I'll take the smaller recorder over the bigger one, but they're both like really small and compact recorders. So everything I just mentioned at the end there is not really a deal breaker. Okay, so let's talk about settings. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the ideal settings that I've used for years that I recommend when recording. Let's start with the Pro version. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Pro version. Chord level, we're gonna kind of skip. Next, we're gonna go to low cut. Low cut, we're going to keep it at 120 Hertz. This just makes it so that if there's something at a low frequency, like wind or like humming or something like that, like from like air conditioning or something like that, if it's a low frequency, it will get cut out of your audio essentially. So 120 Hertz is good. So limiter just makes it so, I explained this earlier, but limiter we're gonna leave to on. Auto level we're gonna leave to on. Phase is pretty much so like if you have two people sitting beside each other with these recorders on, then so just to make sure you don't have any issues with them being close to each other, one could be set to default and the other one could be set to invert. That's pretty much it. But okay, file format, we're gonna do WAV. File type, we're gonna do mono. Record format, 48 Hertz, kilohertz. Bit depth, 32-bit float, because why not? Time mark, I don't use that. Peak mark, I don't use that either. File name, we're gonna go by date. Text, same thing, DR10, and then this one I have DR1011, and then my other one would be DR1022. Unit name, not available. Okay, not sure what that does, but cool. Power save, off. File number, I don't mess with that. Okay. Backlight, ignore that. Format SD, let's not do that on here. Battery, I'm on Eneloop, so NIMH. And date and time, set your date and time, it will save your life. System initiation, we'll leave that. Version info just tells you your firmware. I would recommend updating your firmware when you can. And then AKBT1 version, that's just the firmware of your Bluetooth adapter. Card reader, ignore that. Bluetooth, I guess if you press remote, then that's what gets you to the phone, but never gotten it to work properly. TC forget, I don't know what that is. It's not even available. So Bluetooth ID just tells you, like when you open up the phone app, BT ID is Bluetooth ID, so that will tell you which one of them it is type thing. Now we're going to do the original Tascam, which is honestly not that much different. So right here, we're gonna do mic gain. We're just gonna set that to M, which is like medium or mid. I don't know what they would call it. Low cut, we're gonna turn that on. Limiter, we're gonna turn that on. Auto level, that just pretty much means that no matter, like as someone's talking, if they're too quiet or they're too loud, then it will make sure that everything's a bit more balanced in terms of how your sound is throughout the video, so you're not like turning up or turning down stuff as you go the whole time. FS sample, we'll skip that. Bit length, we'll do 24. File type, mono. Dual record, we'll set that to I'm gonna say -6 dB. I've literally never had to use dual record, but essentially what it does is it just records another version of your audio that's 6 or 12 decibels lower. I just find with the auto level and limiter, it makes it where I don't have to do that, but it's there if you want it. MP3 mode, I've never had to use that. Track ink, we'll turn that off. Warn beeps, we'll turn that off. You don't want beeps going off in the middle of a ceremony telling you and your groom that the microphone's dying. Power save, we'll turn that off. Name type, we'll do it by date. I think doing it by date makes it easier to find, so we'll do that. File name, I would name it maybe DR1001, and then if you have a second one, DR1002, just so that you can differentiate which one's which type thing. Mic bias, so this setting, I'm just gonna say put it on. I had it off, and for whatever reason, I thought my microphone wasn't working. I can't remember what the science is behind this setting, but I know if you just test it with whatever microphone you're using, because I have it on, I would just put it on, do a sound test for yourself, and maybe do a sound test with it off and see if it's recording and not recording on one of these settings, but I have it on. Battery type, we're gonna go, well, it depends on what battery you get. This is just so that when you are recording and it tells you how much battery you have left, it will base it off of which battery you're using. So that's up to you what battery you want to use. Alkaline, you could use alkaline batteries, but I think the best battery you're gonna use is the one that says NiMH. And my Eneloop batteries, that would fall under that category. So those are the ones I use, but you're welcome to use the other ones. And then date, time. Set your date and time. When it comes to organization and you shoot maybe you shoot 15 to 20 weddings a year, having a date and time for your audio to kind of match all your other video footage that has a date and time to it will make your life so much easier. If God forbid, you know, you're halfway through the year and you realize that you're missing audio from an SD card and you need to go back. But if you have the date and time, that's one step that's going to make your life a lot easy. Of course, naming it too, but this will help as well. System initiation, I'm just not going to touch that. Version info just tells you how your firmware is, and that's pretty much about it. So which one should you choose? Personally, if money is not an issue, then of course the Pro is a great investment, and long term I think it will serve you well and will give you the latest and greatest features, but the original Tascam is still elite and has 90% of the features you need to get great sound. The original Tascam, for its price, it's hard to beat. I think it rivals a lot of recorders that are even coming out today. I think if you're looking for something that will still serve you well and you don't want to spend the money that the Pro version costs, then I think the original one is still a great recorder to have, and I know a lot of people that still use this. Anyway, I hope this video was informative for you guys. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. This is Damien. Take care. Bye.